From being one of LeBron's favorites to an NBA draft bust, what happened to Dennis Smith Jr.? After being a really hyped prospect, Dennis Smith was drafted in the 2017 NBA Draft 9th overall, one pick after the Knicks. Dennis Smith was known for his insane athleticism and crazy dunks in college. Dennis Smith's highlight reel was going crazy on the internet with millions of views and even getting the attention from LeBron James. Going into the draft, Dennis Smith's draft stock was going up. With his clips on YouTube going viral and the shout out from LeBron James, things were looking really good for Dennis Smith. With 7 picks gone by and the Knicks on the clock, many were saying the Knicks should pick Dennis Smith Jr., including LeBron James. As we all know now, that didn't happen. The Knicks went with Frank Ntilikina, and people are criticizing the Knicks, especially LeBron. A lot of Knicks fans and fans around the NBA wanted to see Dennis Smith in a Knicks uniform, to see his crazy athleticism and to throw down crazy dunks in the Garden. But that didn't happen. He was drafted one pick later to the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavs are extremely excited to have him. In Dennis's rookie season, he had a pretty solid rookie season, averaging 15 points per game and 5 assists per game on 39% shooting from the field. Similar to his college days, Dennis Smith flashed his athleticism, throwing down highlight dunks, and was showing an ability to run the offense decently well. After that pretty successful season for Dennis Smith, everything went downhill after the Mavs drafted Luka Doncic in next year's draft. Not too long after Luka Doncic was drafted, the Mavs realized that he was their franchise guy and put aside Dennis Smith. After a little while playing together, they realized that Dennis Smith and Luka couldn't play together, and they had to trade one or the other. An opportunity arose where the Knicks were wanting to trade Kristaps Porzingis, and the Mavs wanted to trade Dennis Smith, and it was a match made in heaven for the Mavs. The Mavs were going to trade Dennis Smith anyway because he wasn't working out with Luka, but if they can also get a star player like Porzingis to play alongside Luka, that was something they really wanted to get done. And the trade was finally made: Kristaps Porzingis to the Mavs and Dennis Smith Jr. and a few other players to the Knicks. After a rough second season, Dennis Smith finally found himself an opportunity to flourish with the New York Knicks. In his first season with the Knicks, Dennis Smith got his numbers back up to 14.7 points per game on 5 assists per game on 41% shooting from the field. Dennis Smith wasn't so consistent his first season with the Knicks, but he was flashing from time to time that he could be a really good player going forward for the Knicks. Dennis Smith even got a nod to be in the dunk contest that year right after getting traded to the Knicks. After a pretty decent season with the Knicks, Dennis Smith was going into the offseason with a jump shot that was shaky at best. Dennis Smith went into the offseason working on his jump shot harder than ever. Smith vowed that his jump shot would be much better this season, and you could see a real improvement in his overall game. There were a bunch of workout videos from Dennis Smith over the offseason showing his improved jump shot form and just him making it a ton more. Guys who were playing with him in his workouts and his runs were saying that they noticed a pretty big improvement in Dennis Smith's jump shot and his overall game as well. There was a lot of hype going into Dennis Smith's second season with the Knicks, but going into his second season, Dennis Smith was looking really bad at the start of the season, showing a real lack of confidence that ended up lingering throughout the whole season, and Dennis Smith had his worst season of his young career. His numbers dropped so dramatically to a low of 2.9 assists per game and only 5.5 points per game on 34% shooting. Dennis's lack of confidence was really starting to show, and the Knicks fans were starting to turn on him. He was starting to fall out of the rotation and get no minutes. With Dennis not progressing at all this season, he actually regressed a ton. The Knicks were forced to look in a different direction at the point guard position. Smith had an all-time low in confidence after his second season with the Knicks, and going into his third season, there was little to no hope that he would prevail. In his third season with the Knicks, he completely fell out of the Knicks rotation, and at this point, he wasn't playing at all. And with Dennis Smith not playing whatsoever, he even requested to go down to the G League, which was a really respectable move on his part. After making that decision to go down to the G League, the Knicks ended up trading Dennis Smith to the Pistons in return for Derrick Rose. Dennis Smith was traded once again in his young NBA career. We're still in his first season with Detroit, but Dennis Smith has been looking much better with the Pistons, with less stress on him not being on the New York Knicks anymore and in the New York media. Dennis is even the Pistons starting point guard. He got their role, which is really good for him, and he even recorded a triple-double a few days ago. The Pistons are the worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams in the league, and I think that provides Dennis Smith with no pressure on him to perform really well right away, so I think that's a good situation for him. I do think, however, if if Dennis Smith doesn't perform on the Pistons, this might be his last situation that he's in before he's kicked out of the league. I do really like Dennis Smith as a player, and I'm really hoping that he does perform well for the Pistons. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Dennis Smith has the opportunity to perform really well for the Pistons, or do you think he's just not a good player and he's going to fall off? But anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And until the next time, peace out guys.